Welcome back, everyone, here to the Bronx Talk Show. Today is April 14th and episode 13. Christian and the Yankees have won every series so far this year. Every team they've played, they've beaten. They've beaten them in a series, had a sweep as well against the Astros, swept them all four games, and that was really nice to see. We're very, very close today to getting another sweep, against Cleveland. Unfortunately, didn't happen. There's a lot to unpack in that game. But for the most part, I mean, the Yankees have been playing amazing. We've loved what we're seeing so far. 12-4, best record in baseball. Would have been nice today to get that win, go to 13-3, and be 10 games over 500. That would have been really nice. But I mean, these type of games are going to happen. I just think in the fashion that it ended, it was left a sour taste in your mouth, and definitely was bummed about it, me personally. But in general, the Yankees are playing really, really good. So, Christian, what have you liked over the past week of the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to like. I kind of wish we split the doubleheader in one today. That would have just been, especially on a day when we're filming, it would have made for a much more positive experience. Of course, either you're still winning the series, but it just feels good to, I guess, win on the day when it kind of all, recaps. But Yankees are playing really good baseball. I guess we could go back to Miami a little bit. Yankees took the series. One thing I didn't really like, I'll just go ahead and say it right now. Did Oswaldo start a game against Miami?
He did not.
Yeah. I don't really get that. I mean, look, I know they wanted to give John Birdie some run, and he's also now on the 10-day IL, which is kind of a bummer. But, I mean, with how well he was hitting, and I know it was either two or three lefties. I think two. But you still have to find Oswaldo playing time. And, one thing I was kind of applauding the Yankees at first because they were riding the hot hand. I mean, Boone even said it that, they were planning on getting guys like Grisham and Birdie in, I think 2 weeks ago. And then Stanton and Oswaldo were just on fire. They felt, let's just roll out our best lineup. So I get you have to get guys playing time. I understand that, especially early in the season. But to sit a guy who's been as hot as Oswaldo for 3 games, I don't like it. Thankfully, I mean, he hit Cleveland, so I mean, it looks like he's still hot. But I mean, it's a little thing like that. I mean, at least give him a game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, enough to sit him 4 days and then have him play Friday, or I guess Saturday. I mean, that was 5 days where he didn't really see major league pitching.
Yeah, there was also an opportunity, I think in last game of the series, late in the game, and the Yankees had the opportunity to send him a pitch hitter. They had Oswaldo Cabrera on the bench, and they had Austin Wells. They chose to go with Jose Trevino. I don't exactly remember what happened. I think he struck out. He didn't get on base, but yeah, they had an opportunity there. I was very surprised that they didn't go to their bench in that spot. Yankees were still able to take 2 out of 3, but even in most of the Yankees' losses this year, I mean, they definitely had opportunities at the end. I mean, you look back at their last 2 losses today in Cleveland, very much could have won that game, had plenty of opportunities to do so. And then in Miami, at the end, not in Miami, against Miami at the end, they had an opportunity to, take the win and tie the game up. So to have that big, I think it was double at the end. Judge flew out, but it is what it is. But I mean, it's good to see they're not really getting blown out. I mean, you look at their 4 losses. The only game that they were not in at all was that 7-0 loss to Arizona. Every game they've been in for the most part, and it's came down to the end. That's good to see. They're showing a lot of fight. And today, even, I mean, Yankees down a run, down to their final out. Anthony Volpe against one of the best pitchers in baseball in Class A is able to, line one in the gap. Class A was throwing like 100 miles an hour, hit that fastball right in the gap, and Yankees were able to score. So that was big. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the sweep. I feel like that would have been like, hey, now, hold back. Here we go. because the Guardians are a very good team. They have the second best record in the American League before they faced the Yankees. I don't know if it still stands, but they're a very good team, and the Yankees went in there and dominated the first two games, and then went up 3-0 today. And I was like, oh, this game's over. But give Cleveland credit; they came back. One thing that is extremely frustrating, Christian, is the Cleveland Guardians social media team.
I was just about to bring that up. I mean, I assume you saw the post where it was the Yankee fans. So the Guardians, they posted, the final score, and then the caption on Twitter was, Yankees fans, leave your excuses below in the comments, which I just seems kind of unprofessional. And a lot of teams do this to the Yankees because, I mean, look, it'll get you a ton of engagement. You get Yankee fans riled up. I mean, it's really all they want. And then, I mean, even in the reply, so then someone goes, "We won the series," and the Cleveland Guardians social media admin responds with "we," as in like you're not on the team. So I mean, it's weird. I thought that part was even weirder because like think about Guardians fans. I mean, we say we because we're fans, right? We like to think
Yeah.
of ourselves as the team. I don't know. It was just I get teams do that just to like needle the Yankee fans, but I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying. They've done a ton of stuff. I remember, I think it was last year. They said the Guardians came into Yankee Stadium, were facing the Yankees, and they posted like a postcard that said like "Greetings from Queens." The Yankees obviously play in the Bronx, so they're trolling them there. And they lost the series there too. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, the Yankees have certainly had their last laugh against Cleveland in recent years. The whole baby thing, we were able to get the last laugh there. Last three playoff series, I should say, the Yankees have handled Cleveland easily. We're able to beat them in both game fives in the division series in 17 and 22, and then swept them in 2020 in Cleveland. So, look, I mean, Cleveland, you got to give them credit. I mean, they're having success with such a small payroll. It's tough to win there. I mean, there's a reason most of those franchises in Cleveland haven't been able to win, other than the Cavaliers in recent memory. I mean, they've had some success, but it's a tough place to win because it's hard to get free agents to play there too. So you give them credit there, but yeah, I mean, it's wrong. It's weird. It's bizarre. But if the Yankees keep winning games, I mean, anyone could do whatever they want, because if the Yankees are succeeding and having success, they're the ones that are upset. But I don't know. I saw that. I was like, that's weird. But hey, look, Yankees did win the series. Saw some great things, and yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and this will kind of lead us into, you know, what we've liked. But one of the biggest decisions the Yankees made this week was moving Volpe to leadoff. And I got to be honest, I wasn't a fan of it. I was too worried about what it could potentially do to Volpe because, obviously he had a great first 2 weeks and he looks much better than last year. But, I would have said just let him play it out for another month or two, let him go through a mini slump and get out of it, opposed to, moving him and lead off and say he struggles a little bit. But look, they did it. He's obviously he hit even better. He had the game tying double today against one of the best relief pitchers in baseball. I think along with 3 or 2 other hits. I still look. It still wouldn't have been my choice. I think I would have given him a month, but now that we've saw or seen the dynamic with Volpe Soto Judge, it's kind of hard to let that go. And I mean, it's special when those three are working together, which we kind of saw for the first time this series. I mean, this can be like a core three for a while with the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the potential there is, I think, unmatched. I mean, as well as Volpe's playing right now, he's playing at an all-star caliber level. And if he continues this success, I mean, man, oh man, the Yankees are going to be in a really good spot. And I agreed with you, Christian. I thought it was way too early for the Yankees to move Volpe up to the leadoff spot. And I was very surprised when, what was it, final game in Miami or second game in Miami, against Miami, not in Miami, when Volpe was penciled up there at the leadoff spot. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, he's batting leadoff already. But we were both worried about what this would do to Volpe psychologically. Is he going to try to do things different at the leadoff spot? Is he going to try to, swing at more pitches, try to get on base more? Being such a young kid, and if he struggles, is he going to work even harder and press there at the plate? But we're not in the clubhouse every day. We're not seeing what Volpe is like on a daily basis. And, maybe Boone and the Yankees coaching staff said, hey, this kid looks very calm. He looks very relaxed to the plate. It's definitely something he can handle. And that's why they put him at the leadoff spot. I mean, we got to keep in mind, we're not there every day. We don't see what Volpe's like. We don't know him like the players and coaches do. So they're going to pick up on those little things that can lead to a decision like this, opposed to if you're just a fan and you're watching on the outside looking in, you may not totally get the full picture, but it's working right now. And like we said, I think in the video, Anthony Volpe has all the tools to be an exceptional leadoff hitter. I mean, bat to ball skills, the contact, the speed, being able to steal a base. It was just very, very nice to see Anthony Volpe having that success at the leadoff spot. And if he gets on base and he sets the tone for, Soto and Judge and the rest of the lineup, Yankees are going to be in a good spot. So it's really nice. It's a very nice surprise to see what he's doing so far. And I really hope it continues because that would be really, really cool for Anthony Volpe to make the All-Star team.
Yeah, no, I mean he has been phenomenal. And another guy that I kind of want to shout out here is Cortez, and he pitched today. He didn't pitch all that well, but we haven't talked about him since his Miami start where he went 8 shutout innings. And I know Miami has been, I mean, we watched the games. They looked hopeless.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, he still pitched well. And even today, I mean, going back to that, I mean, with the fake pitch, and it looked like Nestor was having a little bit of fun on the mound. I do think that's kind of what he has to get back to, right? And I know it kind of pitching stems from your stuff, right? But Nestor is kind of built off having fun on the mound, messing with batters' timing. And I did think, I mean, with his 2 starts this week, he made big, big steps from what we saw. I mean, the conversation we were having last Sunday was if Cole comes back and Nestor's still pitching like this, do we move Nestor to the bullpen and keep Heal in a rotation? I think these were encouraging starts. I know he didn't look that great today, but I mean, overall, I think it's progress for him. I think if he can build off this, I mean, look, we're early in the season, okay? I mean, we can't judge him too much, and I think this was 2 starts that were encouraging. I know he didn't really get results today.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's having fun out there, and the 8 shutout innings against Miami was really nice to see. I mean, he was dominant in that start, but last year, and I didn't even think a lot of people were talking about this, but he totally went away from all theatrics on the mound, doing doing all the fun things he does on the mound, lifting his leg, pausing, quick pitching, the things that make him nasty Nestor. We were missing that last year, and he's going back to it this year. And I mean, today he's breaking out the fake pitch. I mean,
Yeah.
looking like Dan Marino out there with the fake spike. If he struck him out, I mean, that would have been all over everything.
Still was.
Yeah, it still was. I was really, I was thinking about this in my head because, he should keep doing the fake pitch because here's the thing, Christian. What if he does a fake pitch and someone does their stride and puts their foot down and then throws the pitch again, and the guy's like all discombobulated. That's all I kept thinking about, and I want that to happen so bad. For someone to just like have their stride going, gets totally fooled on the fake pitch. But I mean, you're up there as a hitter, and especially it's got to be so weird. I mean, the amount of swings these guys have taken, from little league all the way to the big league level, and they've seen it all. And at least they think they've seen it all. And then you're going out there, you're getting paid millions of dollars, and some guys, fake pitching you the ball. I mean, you got to be like, what are we doing out here? But Nestor was having fun. That was really, really cool to see. But Christian, another pitcher in the Yankees rotation who's gotten off to a very solid start is Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt has looked really good out there on the mound. He's looking composed. Looks like he has the stuff. And I think you said this last episode, still just not there yet, finishing off games and getting late into games. Always seems to, run into trouble that third time through or once you get to the fifth or sixth inning. But, I mean, when you're looking at Clark Schmidt, that's the final piece to the puzzle. And I think he'll be a very, very good starter if he can figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one thing that has to click with him, and once it does, watch out because Clark Schmidt can just be scary. But he's been good enough, and that's really look. I mean, he was kind of supposed to be our fifth starter, so that's what I think of him in my mind, and he's been great for a fifth starter. But I think this guy can be more than that. The cutter seems like it's working, and one of the biggest things he struggled with last year was getting out lefties. This year, he's actually gotten lefties out more than righties. And, it's kind of been righties, if anything, that have given him a bit of trouble. So seeing the adjustment and seeing that it's working is good. It's just, can he put that final thing together? Can he finish off games? That'll really help the Yankees, but because the Yankees bullpen is so good, he doesn't necessarily have to do that, right? And I know, obviously the end goal is, we have Clark Schmidt getting there where he can go 6 and 7 innings, but with the situation, with how good the Yankees bullpen is, he doesn't have to do that. And I think that's why it works so well. If he goes 5 innings and gets in a little bit of trouble in the fifth, we can just bring in a guy to lock it down and who cares about the win? That doesn't really matter anymore in baseball. So he has looked good. I can't say he looks that much different from last year, but I do see strides. And, I think if he can continue to progress this season, he's only going to get better. I mean, this guy is still so young, right? Last season was really like his first kind of full shot at being a starter, and he's still growing. So I like what I've seen from him. I really think he's just going to continue to get better. I mean, that was what I said in the offseason. If Clark Schmidt can just take a step up this year, doesn't have to be a big one like what we've seen from Volpe last year to this year, but if he can just take another step, this guy's going to be on track to be a really good pitcher down the line in his career.
Yeah, absolutely. Clark Schmidt has looked solid so far, and like you said, hasn't totally looked as much different as he did last year. But I would say one thing that has been totally different is the start he's gotten off to. Last year, he was just off to an abysmal start. I mean, this guy was starting, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like every game. But it looks like this year he's gotten into a much better start to the season, which is good to see because the Yankees need him right now with Cole down, and they need guys to eat innings and pitch well. And he's been doing that, and the Yankees rotation as a whole has been doing that. I mean, you look at everyone in the rotation, and I feel good each day with who's on the mound. Carlos Rodon has looked good. Marcus Stroman looked really good. Other than that, start he had against Miami. Luis Hill, we didn't see him. He looked this series. He looks really good, and everyone looks good. Clark Schmidt as well, and Cody Petit throwing 6 innings, 1-run ball. I mean, look at Cody Petit going out there future Cy Young winner, and Cody could see it right there. Yeah, but I mean, rotation as a whole looks really good. The Yankees pitching staff in general has looked very, very solid. And Christian, I don't mean to point out the obvious, but I mean Juan Soto. That's all I gotta
Yeah.
say. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I can't not mention his name when I'm looking at the topic right now and it says things we are loving. I can't not mention his name. So yeah, just got to throw in Juan Soto there. I mean, we don't have to talk about him. I think everyone knows just how amazing Juan Soto has been. And he's doing it all. I mean, he got a bunt single today. I mean,
That was cool to see because with how good of a hitter he is, with how good his discipline is in the strike zone, the fact that he's willing to just lay down a bunt to get on base with one out and nobody on, every lefty in the Yankees lineup should learn from that. And I guess the Yankees do a pretty good job. I know Rizzo does that. We've seen Oswaldo do that. Verdugo, I don't know if I've seen him do that yet, but that can definitely be a weapon. But I mean, look, to be the best hitter, I feel like I can kind of say this now, especially this season. I mean, I guess I'll say one of the best hitters in baseball and just willing to drop a bunt down the line.
yeah,
It's something that just Yankee fans love. I love. And it he seems just committed. And of course, he can do that and also crush a home run to center field, like we saw on Saturday. So this guy, I mean, I think we're gonna have this conversation. Now, sometimes it's gonna be longer, sometimes shorter, but I think we're gonna have a Juan Soto is amazing conversation this entire year. And maybe once it gets closer to the end of the year, it'll start to be extension talks and all that. But I I don't know if I can see a Yankees lineup now without this guy after watching him for 3 weeks.
yeah. I mean, unbelievable generational talent, as they say. And the people, I watched a clip on MLB on Fox yesterday. I think it was like the pregame show for the Saturday night game last night. I don't know who played, but yeah, I think it was Cliff Lloyd, and they were all talking about how amazing Juan Soto has been. And Cliff Lloyd's like, yeah, 8 years at 35 million, living in a penthouse in Manhattan. And I was like, hell yeah. I think it was Cliff Lloyd who said that, but I was like, yeah, Soto. I mean, New York, come on now. You never be bored in New York. Never be bored. I'm just saying. And if you're gonna play in New York, you got to play for the Yanks. I mean, there's some places you get bored. You want to go to L.A. Boring. It's boring. No, you want to go to New York, city of where dreams are made of. New York. You make it in New York. You make it anywhere. Juan Soto is making it right now in New York, and he keeps doing what he's doing. He's going to get a very nice payday, and hopefully that will be from the New York Yankees. Although right now, Juan Soto would tell you his focus is on winning games and trying to help the Yankees win. And I think me as a fan right now, I'm not really thinking about, extensions and so on and so forth. I mean, you brought in Juan Soto. You got to focus on now. And the Yankees having a 12-4 record definitely helps you do that. They've looked really, really good so far. Now, Christian, they are 12-4. And we've seen amazing things. We've seen great things, way, way more good than bad. However, no one is perfect. They're not 16-0. If they're 16-0, we wouldn't say it, but they're not. There has been some concerning things. Unfortunately, I think the most obvious one has been the Yankees' defense, which is sort of weird. They were much better defensively last year than they were in years prior. I don't know if you want to fact check this, Christian, but I think they have the second most errors in baseball behind the Athletics. They just haven't looked good defensively, and the main place where they haven't looked good is the infield. I mean, bobbling balls, not fielding balls, lollygag throws. I mean, everyone in that infield is not really playing totally to their best of their abilities. I think Volpe has looked really, really good. He has made some mistakes though, which are going to happen in baseball. Um, but everyone, in that infield hasn't looked good. Anthony Rizzo, I mean, we'll touch on him in a second, but Gleyber Torres today, I mean, that cost the Yankees the game. It did. He would have been able to throw Naylor out at home, and Yankees have to tighten up on defense because they're winning games right now because they're putting up a ton of runs, they're scoring a lot. But when you go in October and these games are very close, that could dictate a whole entire series. And World Series teams, World Series winning teams, are going to be good defensive teams. They're going to be able to get it done on defense. Otherwise, you don't really deserve to be there.
Yeah. They're third in errors. I guess I would say they're second because I don't know if you could even count the Athletics.
Yeah.
Red Sox have 16. The Yankees have 14. It's been, it's kind of been sloppy. Rizzo's errors have been bad because first baseman making errors, that just can't happen. And especially, I mean, some of them are just like catching. I mean, I think he had one today where it was just a low throw that he just dropped. It wasn't
Yeah.
a pick or anything. He's also had against Miami. I think he had balls just going through his legs.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do at first base is just stop the ball. And I know Rizzo does get a pretty good rep at first base. It's funny because he does almost have a. I was talking about this with my dad. He kind of has like almost the Jeter reputation in terms of defense metrics because everyone thinks of him as a very elite glove. His metrics aren't great, but also defensive metrics as a whole, we don't really have those totally figured out. And first baseman, especially, I mean, you can't really grade those. I think the reason why Rizzo gets a good rep is because he does those fundamental things so well in terms of picks, just making the right plays. That's kind of why it's been surprising because he has done the opposite of that this year. It's just been the lazy. I don't know if I want to say lazy because that doesn't really feel fair, but just kind of like the mental. I don't know. It's just been sloppy, and I'm not really concerned about it from Rizzo. I know he's getting old, but I still think he's going to be fine at first base. As for Torres, he's had a couple and maybe even 3 errors this year. Today's one, look, infield in, it's a hard ground ball. Is it a play that has to be made? Yes. And even if it's not made, I mean, you bobble the ball, you don't get him at home, throw to first base, and I mean, then it would have been a fly out to right. We're still in extra innings, so those have kind of been the two main ones, especially today. But really, I mean, throughout the season, those two guys have made us feel not too confident. Am I worried though? No. Right? I think it is an issue, but I think there's a difference between something that's been bad and something that's going to be a problem, right? I don't think we have to worry about Gleyber Torres' defense going down the line. We've seen this with Torres. His defense sometimes overlaps with his offense, and his offense hasn't been that great this year. And he's just been off to a slow start, really, as a whole. But I think it's going to be kind of one of those things where once his back gets going, the defense is going to be fine. And as for Rizzo, I think it's really just been a few mistakes. I don't think it's necessarily cause for concern. I guess I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a former Platinum Glove winner. And we've seen him in his Yankees career make a ton of great plays at first base. This is sort of new. It's uncharacteristic of him. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just, I don't know, reverse luck. It's just happening for whatever reason. Um, I don't know. It needs to stop. This bottom line. Hopefully he'll be able to figure that out soon. Take some extra ground balls early. Be able to do that. The whole Yankees infield. If they were my team, we get to the field an hour earlier to do ground balls in Toronto tomorrow. But they're not my team, unfortunately. But I don't know. I mean, they need to work on it. Oswaldo, we've seen him make some good plays at third base. I just don't think he has the arm for third base. I've seen him a lot this year make a lot of low throws that have sort of led to those Rizzo errors, like a lot of throws in the dirt. I think Volpe's look solid for the most part, but the double plays too. I mean, they just haven't. Him and Torres haven't synced. A lot of drops trying to turn double plays, stuff like that. I don't know. You know, I don't know how you fix that. It could all be bad timing. It has to stop. I mean, that's the bottom line. That is definitely concerning. It's very surprising. Um, I'm not entirely sure. Um, you know, but we'll see what happens. John Verdi did go on the IL, and it looks like DJ could be coming back soon. We know how
Yeah.
good DJ is in the field, so hopefully that could help the Yankees out a little bit defensively. As far as the outfield looks go, as far as the outfield looks, I think they look very solid out there, and there's people talking about Juan Soto's defense, and I think he looks very solid. To be honest with you, and his arms look good. The Yankees' arms in the outfield are very good, very very challenging. Um, so hopefully no one runs on them, and if they do, good. You get thrown out at home. It's just a free out for my team. So it is what it is. I don't know really how you go to address that or how to fix that. I guess we could just hope that the Yankees turn it around and get a little bit more practice in and are able to be better in the field. But yeah, Christian, the Yankees do have some division matchups ahead. Division matchups now. You know, a couple of years ago, you'd be like, "Oh, Yankees playing a division rival. What else is new?" Right? Because you play them like what, 19 times a year, something like that. Yeah, I mean, you play them every other game and be like, "Oh, Yankees playing Tampa. Oh, Yankees playing Boston." Right? But no, not anymore. You don't play them as often, right? And now the Yankees have two division matchups in 1 week. They're going to be heading to Toronto for 3 games, and it's going to be the second time they've seen Toronto. And then they're going to come back to the Bronx, going to play Tampa Bay Rays. So it's a big week for the Yankees, and I know it's early on, but you want to win these games against division rivals, especially now with all the tiebreakers. There's no game 162 or 163, rather, I should say, anymore. It's all about tiebreakers. And these division matchups are very, very important now. You don't play teams as often. So, if the Yankees handle business and, the Yankees struggle, let's say, a little bit in August, Toronto won't have a chance to play them, or Tampa won't have a chance to play them and make up that ground. And the Yankees will be in a good spot because it's going to be way harder to make up ground when you're not playing them. So these division games are very, very important. And I'm excited for them because the Yankees are playing well right now, and I just hope they keep their foot on the gas. And I'm looking for 2 series wins. I mean, obviously I should, right? I mean, who wants to lose the series? But I think the Yankees got to be aggressive here. No punt lineup. Spoon has been good with that this year for the most part. I don't want to see a punt lineup. I want to go in, full foot on the gas and really take care of business against these two teams.
Yeah. Starting in Toronto, I'm wondering if we could maybe see a little bit of juice just in terms of rivalry. I mean, I know we talked about the Vlad thing last week where he was silencing the crowd. And, these teams have kind of had their back and forth. I, I think it's possible we could see a little bit more of a more than the game in Toronto, especially. I mean, Blue Jays are in last in a great division. I mean, to be in last place and be a 500 team, that just shows you the AL East. So, they're probably pressing a little bit. They know they got to step it up. And as for the Rays, I mean, look, you're going to be coming back home, but they're just going to be the Rays. And I don't know if we did this before the season. I know in past years we have, where we did our predictions on the AL East. Did we do that this year?
Predictions on the AL East? I don't know. I don't
Uh,
think so.
we
Did
definitely
we?
talked about it, but I don't think we gave like standings or anything like that. Uh, but if we did, because in past years I've always said, kind of always been like, all right, Rays are finally going to take a step down, and this offseason I finally just said it's not going to happen. Rays are just going to be the Rays. No matter how many players they lose, they're just
Yeah.
always going to be good. And here they are. I mean, they started off a little slow, and they're 2 games above 500 now. But look, these are two good teams. I will say the Blue Jays lineup did feel a little empty when we played them. I know, there's just some teams like that in past years. I'd say the Astros, the Blue Jays in the past, where it just feels like every guy that's coming up, you're just like, oh shit. I didn't really get that this year from the Blue Jays. It kind of seemed like, you had Bo Bichette, you had George Springer, you had Vlad, and then it was just 6 other guys. I don't think the Blue Jays are gonna I don't think the Yankees are gonna go to Rogers Center though and just stomp all over them. I mean, the Blue Jays have been wanting to be so good for so long, and they've been in the playoffs, but they've never been that team that they talk like. I don't know. This is going to be a tough week, and I mean, it's really been a tough start to the season, other than Miami. Uh, but hey, Yanks have handled business so far, so I don't know how you can get concerned.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't think you'd be concerned. I mean, amped up definitely. I wouldn't say nervous either. But look, you don't want to lose. You want to have a good week against these two teams. I'm very excited, Christian. I'm going to the games on the 20th and 21st. So both games against Tampa. So if you're going to that game, shoot us a DM and we take a photo or something. But look, I'm very excited, but the Yankees have to do their part. They have to play well against these two teams, and Toronto is going to be interesting. I do agree with you, Christian. I think there could be some theatrics there. Last year when we played in Toronto, it was an absolute mess in terms of that. But it was funny because Willie Calhoun took Alek Manoah deep, and that's hysterical. I mean, you give a home run to Willie Calhoun. I don't know, but now Alek Manoah is in
Yeah,
single
what is
A.
he? Is he insane? Oh my
I
gosh.
think he's in single A. He's giving up home runs to kids that are younger than me,
Yeah,
and
because he was supposed to start against the Yankees, and then I think he did, or I don't. Did he start? I don't know if he started on the big league roster, but
no, I
I don't
don't
know.
think he did.
I guess not. I don't know because there was a report that, or maybe he would have been lined up against the Yankees, and then I don't know. He gave up like 6 in the first
Uh,
inning against a single A team.
yeah, I mean that's
He's
like yeah, the single A is pretty concerning. I mean he's on track, Christian, to be on a very entertaining baseball doesn't exist video.
yes,
Because it's like this dude was an all-star in 2022, and this guy in 2021 too. I mean, gave the Yankees fits, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, we're gonna have to deal with this, fatty for. We're gonna have to deal with this fatty for, years. But look, I mean, I don't know. Guy makes the All Star team in 2022. He's looking like he's the next face of Toronto, right? He's being on the big three poster with Bo Bichette, him, and Vlad Guerrero, right? It looks like this kid is going to be a lifelong Blue Jay, right? Just going to be an arrogant piece of shit. But no, right? He's awful at the big league level. Apparently, he showed up to spring training overweight last year, something like that. I'm sure the social media stuff doesn't help him either. I mean, whether
Yeah.
you say that's wrong or not, look, I mean, it is what it is. He's talked a big mouth, and unfortunately, you do that. I mean, that's the price you're gonna have to pay, and I'm sure that doesn't help. But I know there was some problems last year. He got sent down again. He got sent down again, and he didn't report to the minor leagues. He didn't report to AAA. So I mean, you can't not do that. I don't know, but he has to figure it out because his career is on the line. But look, I mean, 3 years from now, he's definitely on track to be on a very entertaining baseball doesn't exist video from superstar to fry cook would be my title. But I don't know.
All-star to McDonald's worker.
Yeah. No, I could see him and Frank the Tank, ranting about the Mets in a few years. I could see that.
I could see that. Well,
Yeah.
at least look, get through the Blue Jays and the Rays, and then the Yankees have a break. The Athletics at home. I will
Oh my
say,
God.
if the Yankees win both series, so they beat the Blue Jays and the Rays, and then I feel like that starts to become like a legit storyline. Like Yankees have not lost a series. Could you imagine the Athletics come in and they deliver the first series loss of the year?
Christian, I'm telling you one thing. I mean, you can't because you got baseball. But seriously, anyone out there should strongly consider skipping work or school because Monday the Yankees play the Athletics. It's a day game. I looked at the tickets for that game, Christian. Oh my God. I mean, it's like the cheapest I've ever seen Yankees tickets in my life. I mean, you could get sit first base side for like $100 because it's a day game and they're playing the worst team in the league. Um, I don't know. I'm giving you guys a PSA. Just look at the tickets. You don't got anything going on Monday. Maybe, I don't know, you're taking off or you're on a very late spring break. Strongly consider going to that game because the tickets are like dirt cheap. Like you could go there for free. And I think the cheapest ticket was like $6, which is like unheard of to go to a
Yeah,
Yankees game for $6. I mean, seriously. I mean, well, you can't. You could try doing the $10 challenge, but I don't. I think a hot dog costs more than $4 at Yankee Stadium, so I don't think you do that. But you could go there for $12. Could do the $12 Yankee Stadium challenge. Upload it on YouTube. You get a bunch of views, a bunch of likes. But yeah, two big series ahead. I know it's just April, but these wins matter. These games matter. I mean, just look at the 2022 Yankees as an example, Christian. I mean, the 2022 Yankees got off to a historic start. I think in late June, early July, they were on pace for 120 wins. I mean, I thought this team was going to walk into the World Series and just boom, be the
yeah,
greatest team ever. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because you realize baseball is a 162 game season and yada yada yada. But this team was so incredibly good the first half. And then August hit, and they were miserable. They couldn't score at all. Fans were losing their minds, and they were horrible. Weren't they like, I want to say they were like 10 and 20. They were bad. They were like 8 games under 500 or something in August in 2022. And they were able to sustain themselves. The division got real close. At one point, it was down to, I think, 3.5 games. It got real close, but the Yankees were able to hold off, the Rays and the Blue Jays because they got off to such a good start early on. So, it doesn't matter, you know, at what point you are in the season, right? I mean, obviously, April is way more different than it is in September, but to just, lollygag and sort of sleep through these saying, oh, it doesn't matter. You can't do that. And especially against division opponents, they're very, very important because you don't play them as often. So I'm
yeah.
excited. I'm amped. And it was nice to have Yankees baseball back because there was an off day and then a rain out, but doubleheader game today, and then we're jumping right back into it tomorrow against the Blue Jays. Carlos Rodon going for the Yanks. I don't know who's going for Toronto. I don't know if Luis Gil's going to pitch too, or maybe he'll go the next spot in the rotation, in the fifth spot. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for it. And then Thursday is an off day as well. And then playing Tampa and then Oakland. I don't know who's after Oakland.
After Oakland is Brewers, and Brewers have been good. So Yanks have a tough April, but they're doing it.
They
That's
are
all we can
doing
ask
it.
for.
Yeah, we'll see the return of Jake Bowers. Gary Sanchez is there as well.
How about Esteban Florial? Oh,
Oh, I
knew it was gonna happen.
yeah.
Knew it.
Yeah. If you've been watching the Yankees for the last decade, you knew that was going to happen. You just knew it. I don't know why someone didn't tell me to bet it. I mean, I'd never bet against my own team, but everyone knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Esteban Florial, one career home run with the Yankees. One career home run. I think Florial had what? Almost 100 career at bats with the Yankees? Maybe
Something
more?
like that.
Yeah, 100, 120. Guy hit one home run for the Yankees. He plays them 2 games this series. 2 games. Guy hits 2 home runs, comes off the bench, hits a pitch hit home run. Are you serious? I mean, that was so beyond annoying. And he was batting like 143. I don't know what coming into the series. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you just got to throw your hands up in the air. And, I have no idea.
I think honestly, I think we were both not happy he hit a home run, but I think we were happy that he was finally going to get a shot because it did feel wrong almost with the situation he was at the Yankees where he was up and down. So I think when he left, I even said I hope this guy finds it, but just not against the Yankees. But
yeah.
Of course he does.
Yeah, Michael K said something, I think on the K show a year or 2 ago, that sticks with me now. He's like, whenever someone leaves a team, you always say, oh, I wish that guy luck. Best of luck to this guy. And Michael K's like, no, you don't. Why? No, then why would you get rid of him? You don't want him to do that. And I think there's certain situations, lifelong player, a guy like, let's say Joey Votto, if you're a Reds fan. I mean, I guess you're definitely pulling for Votto to get him, back into the big leagues. And me as well. I mean, I always pulled for Didi Gregorius, but you never really, I think, want the guy to do well. Especially in a situation like that. I mean, you don't want Esteban Florial to figure it out and now become an all-star player. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. Please don't get me wrong. But, you don't want that to happen. You might like the guy, but look, you don't really want that to happen. So that always sticks with me because now I see it on Twitter and someone's like, oh, I wish, Michael King best of luck. Don't get me wrong. I love Michael King, but I hope he doesn't pitch well. I don't want him to pitch well, right? I guess that's just how it is, but maybe that's the way I think it. Maybe someone else thinks it differently, but I don't know. Mike K said that, I think, a year or 2 ago, and it sticks with me even now.
Yeah, and I don't think Michael King's done well, so.
Yeah, no, he's not. He had that one great start, but I think he was like a 5 something ERA.
Yeah, good trade. So far, good trade.
Yeah, so far, A+ trade for Brian Cashman. And if you want to see more of the Cashman family, Gracie Cashman is hosting an event, I think this week, which is, I don't know, that was weird. I was like, what? I saw that. It was like Gracie Cashman. What? I mean, it's Brian Cashman's daughter. I don't, even if it was I don't get, even if it was like Babe Ruth's granddaughter, cool. You're not Babe Ruth. And Brian Cashman. I didn't get that. I don't know. Maybe she does something. You want to leave in the comments. Maybe she works for the Yankees now. I have no idea, but I thought that was weird. I don't know. But, Cash is going to do what he does. I mean, he's the number 2 in charge, right? Or, I mean, you could put him 1. I mean, he does run the team. But, yeah, overall, really good win. Not good win. Well, yeah. Overall, a really good week for the Yankees. And, just hope they can keep doing what they're doing, keep winning games, winning series. And, I'm looking to to close out April on a very high note. And, I'm just looking every game on the schedule, every team we play, I'm looking win, 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 win. And, when the Yankees are playing this well, I feel like not only the team, but the fans get that killer instinct as well, where, we're not playing, but we expect to beat you. And we get upset if we don't, like today. But, today was really good. This week was a really good week for the Yankees, and I'm happy with it. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Chris, before we close out now?
Just keep winning. Keep on winning.
You heard it, guys. Keep on winning. Christian said it himself. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.